This retired veteran was completely toyed with by the police. Not only did they use high-pressure water guns to mercilessly spray his body, but the chief also contemptuously grabbed him by the neck, trying to forcibly shave his head. When he saw the cold razor, fear instantly filled Rambo's eyes. Memories of the torture he suffered in the POW camp surged over him like a tidal wave, overwhelming him. The veteran, who had wanted to remain silent, had no choice but to fight back. He took the opportunity to kick down one of the officers, then used all his strength to break free from the deputy chief's grip, knocking everyone else to the ground with a flurry of punches and kicks. Immediately after, Rambo burst out of the police station, snatched a dirt bike from the roadside, and with a twist of the throttle, disappeared down the road. He just wanted to escape into the deep mountains to get as far away as possible from this hostile little town. However, the enraged sheriff sent out hunting dogs, and a massive manhunt began. Hearing the barking of the hounds behind him, Rambo had no choice but to keep climbing toward the mountaintop. Soon, a steep cliff blocked his path, and to make matters worse, the police had already caught up to him. He had no choice but to grit his teeth and climb down, but unexpectedly, the sniper in the helicopter had already spotted him. Seeing the police immediately raise their sniper rifle, a gunshot franchise, and the bullet nearly knocked him off the cliff. These crazed police officers even treated this like some kind of game. Just as the sniper took aim at Rambo again, he had no choice but to leap off the cliff. Fortunately, thanks to the cushioning of the trees, he miraculously survived, though he was seriously injured. But unexpectedly, the police hunting him had no intention of letting him go. Seeing Rambo pick up a rock, he seized the moment while the officer was changing magazines and hurled it with all his strength at the helicopter. The helicopter shook violently, and one of the officers was actually thrown out of the cabin, dying instantly on the spot. Rambo quickly took the opportunity to grab his gear, and at that moment, the sheriff and his men also arrived at the edge of the cliff. Unexpectedly, Rambo didn't run away. Instead, he took the initiative to try to make peace with the sheriff, saying he didn't want anyone else to get hurt. But the sheriff's response was to fire a shot at him without hesitation, leaving Rambo with no choice but to run again. But a young police officer couldn't bear it and suggested letting Rambo go, only to be angrily dragged in front of the dead officer by the furious sheriff, who swore he would not rest until Rambo was dead. What he didn't expect was that Rambo intended to return this humiliation to him in full. Rambo lay in ambush by the mountain road, and when the opportunity arose, he leapt onto a military vehicle, instantly taking control of the driver. The next second, the driver was thrown out of the car, but instead of continuing his escape, Rambo drove the vehicle straight back to the very town he had originally wanted to flee from. The military vehicle crashed violently into the gas station, and Rambo immediately set it on fire. The intense explosion instantly drew all the police officers to the scene for rescue. Meanwhile, Rambo, like a ghost, slipped to the outside of the police station and suddenly shot out the transformer, plunging the entire area around the station into darkness. He then grabbed a heavy machine gun and unleashed a fierce barrage at the police station, riddling the once solid building with holes in an instant. The previously arrogant sheriff could now do nothing but cower in a corner, trembling with fear. It wasn't until the gunfire stopped that the sheriff dared to sneak up onto the roof, preparing to continue his reckless actions. However, Rambo had already planned everything in advance and fired first. In the next second, the sheriff was hit by several bullets and fell heavily from the roof, crashing straight through the sky. After taking care of the main culprit, the battle-scarred veteran finally put down his weapon and turned himself in, bringing an end to this turmoil that should never have happened.